Whoa, what a time to be back for Boku no Hero. Oh my gosh, I come back in this chapter to talk about it. And spoilers alert, because guys, you must have read this chapter before you watch this. Because we may have actually gotten a revealing of the traitor, Aoyama. Now, this is making me flip because okay, now there's two things. There's two things which it's either that Aoyama's the traitor or that he's attracted to Deku. Now, let's go to the traitor thing first. This is why I'm so confident in thinking he is the traitor. Now, I know you guys, and loads of people have been making theories about, especially recently what the trend has been is the invisible girl Toru. I know Joy Boy, lol. I don't know why I was tripping off on that name. But I know that he made a video about Toru being the invisible traitor. A lot of us were talking about Kaminari from like day one, guys. And you know what? This is the thing which makes me feel like Aoyama is probably the traitor. It's what Horikoshi says in this chapter. He says in the last page, okay, well, Deku says, so Deku's just like, yes, his behavior left a strong impact. Speaking of it, that was just so weird, by the way. Like, you're just eating and one man comes up to you and puts cheese in your mouth. I'm like, yo, that is creepy. But anyway, so Deku says his behavior left a strong impact, but Aoyama was a man whom I could never read. Until he finally started to reveal his true nature. And you see Deku sleeping and Aoyama's creeping on the window behind him. I'm just like, yo, what's going on? And the thing is, it's the shading as well. But what Horikoshi says, everyone, thanks for waiting. At last, that man makes his move. Now, what is he supposed to mean? Like, what else could he mean other than the traitor? Horikoshi is blatantly talking about the traitor. There's nothing else he could be saying. Now, this could be a red herring, and if you guys don't know what a red herring is, in literature sometimes authors, they kind of put up a red herring, and it's the sign of they bring something out only for you to divert your attention from the truth. So, for example, let's say that this is a red herring, and Horikoshi is framing it to be like Aoyama is the traitor, but in actuality it's someone else like Toru or Kaminari. So who knows, like, who knows what's gonna happen next chapter. Like, you can see Aoyama just creeping, and then at the end of the chapter he goes back to Kaminari saying, this is what I found, or something like that. I don't know, but like, it could be a red herring, we don't know. But either way, think about it. The man has been, and his name has been being brought up alongside Kaminari and Toru. It has been in videos, in theories. People have been saying, for example, in the first arc, when the villain comes, what is it called? The JS. Whoa. I can't remember. The Space Jam thing arc, like in chapter 13, you know, the first season of the anime, that kind of arc when we first see Nomi and they all come in. And I believe Aoyama says, where do you think I was? And they're like, where? And he was just like, that's a secret or something like that. And he always acts shifty during all these kind of things. Also, like, one just literally came to my mind during the summer camp arc when Dabi and all of these guys come in and you know, make a mess. He's hiding behind the bushes and he's obviously scared for his life, but he does do something in the end. What's to say that, you know, him doing something is just a cover-up, is just, you know, to make it seem like he did something? Because if he didn't, and they were like, where were you this whole time? It may have been too obvious. It may have got us thinking, hang on, he's always not there. So maybe throughout all these past arcs, he's just doing the minimal amount so people don't actually begin to think suspicious of him. For example, Deku says, he was a man whom I could never read. So he realized that there was something off about that character. But, you know, this chapter was not just about the traitor. It was just not about Aoyama. It was actually about Endeavor as well. And Endeavor, who's someone I want to talk to. I want to talk about Endeavor's character. Endeavor is a controversial character in this series. People hate him for what he's done. Well, I don't think people love him, but I think people don't hate him as much, and I'm kind of on that side as well. Yeah, don't get me wrong. What he did was not good, but I do think he can be redeemed. I do think he can be redeemed, and the only reason why I do think it is because, first of all, Horikoshi's been doing this since chapter 90, since like All Might versus All for One. There was when Endeavor came to see the true form of All Might, and Endeavor threw a flame at All For One. He said, I done all of this for that. Like, he had an epiphany. He had like a resolution in the fact that he realized all that he did was wrong. He did it for the wrong reasons. It was motives. Like, it started the ball running, and he started beginning to think about all that he did throughout his life. Before then, everything was just to surpass All Might. After that fight, he was like, I did this for the wrong goal. And in even these past couple of chapters, when he asked All Might, what is the symbol of peace? Like, this chapter is just it's the icing on the top. It really is. Now, don't get me wrong. This is still only the start. I believe All Might was the one that was narrating, and he said, bit by bit, Endeavor and all the young boys and girls, pardon me. So, like, I do think that this is still a start. It's a process, but how amazing is it? How beautiful is it? How awesome is Horikoshi a writer? Imagine, we don't know how long this series is going to be, but let's say like in chapter 500, like right at the end, and you see how these characters are in comparison to how they were at the start. It's like, it's going to be crazy. Like, even now, seeing how Endeavor is talking to Todoroki, saying you've changed a lot. And I was like, yo, you know what actually got me was when he said, I'm proud of you, son. And just first of all, the artwork there, and you see it sparked something in Todoroki. Todoroki's like, son, like, you've never been a father for me. You don't have the right to call me son. But like, I think it really is going to be amazing seeing how both... Now, I don't know what Horikoshi is going to do. Are we going to see a true restoration of this relationship between father and son? I don't know. Or is it going to be more civil? Who knows? Only time can tell. We'll have to wait and see. But I really am going to be intrigued to see it from both sides of the story, in the sense of Endeavor. Because I feel like at first, it's going to take a lot for Endeavor to realize his wrongs, and the fact that he's realized his wrongs and he's come to terms with it. I think it's going to be really important when Endeavor actually says, I'm sorry. Because you saying, I'm proud of you, yeah, that is something. Because throughout the whole series, he's never said that, you know. He was just like, that's why I created him. You know, and it just really made me it really reminded me of how... The crazy is not the right word, but you know what I mean. Just how like disgusting it was. He said, that's the very reason why I created that boy, to surpass you, All Might. That's what he said during the sports festival. I'm like, wow. So the fact that he's even acknowledging him as a son now, that really does take something. And we've seen it throughout the series. This relationship has changed, you know. During the Stain arc, it was Todoroki himself who decided to go under his wing for the internship, for like the work experience. Obviously, he only did it because of the fact that he recognized his qualities as #2 hero. But you know, like, things has been developing throughout the series, so that really is something that is really awesome. And I really liked what he said at the end, how he said, I will become a hero you can be proud of too. And he said, your father is the #1 hero, the greatest man. And I think that had two meanings, to be honest. I think that really did. I think one of the meanings was Endeavor was saying, in the sense of how, like, this is who, like, I think he said it because he's come to terms with it. Because bear in mind, at the start, Endeavor didn't like how he came to terms with becoming #1. He didn't seem it was right. It wasn't the way he wanted to. So I think he's coming to terms with that now. And I also think, bear in mind, at a sense, even though it was a warped goal, Endeavor always wanted Todoroki to be #1. He always wanted Todoroki to be the greatest. Even though it was twisted and contorted in his own viewpoint. But I still think that will be purified, in a sense. I still think that's what he wants his son to become. I think he wants his son to become the best hero. And in him saying your father is the #1 hero, the greatest man, maybe he's also saying to Todoroki, this is the person you're going to surpass. You will be greater than me, and I want you to be better than me, not just in power, but also in character and personality. That's what I got from it, and I thought that was pretty awesome how Horikoshi kind of relayed that upon. So, yeah, and I just really loved how even Todoroki said, do whatever you want. Like, I know... You know that I thought that was kind of sweet, in the sense. Obviously, like, Todoroki wasn't going to be running to him and hugging him, but it was just kind of like, okay, fine then. So like, even Todoroki, he's coming to terms and realizing that this is different. And freaking Inasa, like, I'm happy for that as well. Like, Inasa was like, I'll be cheering you on, and I'm great that like, this seems like such a new Endeavor. Like, it seems like such a different character, and I'm really surprised by it, and I'm excited as well, because he says, thank you, you're bleeding a lot. Like, he just seems so cooler. I'm really liking it. I really am. But yeah, the heroes are changing, you know, Todoroki, Bakugo, they're growing. And yeah, there was something different in this chapter. It really was. That teacher from not UA, what's the school called? Shiketsu said so. He said this is the first time the Villain Alliance, got involved in schools outside of UA. So we know that Shigaraki's growing, bro. Like they're extending. At first it was just like, yeah, crush All Might, crush UA. But now they're developing their goals, their ambitions. So, you know, that's something interesting to know. And other side from that, from the chapter, you know, Eri and Night Eye, the whole fact about the funeral, it just really cements how crazy that arc was. There's going to be one time and I really want to reread that again because, wow, like, they just went to the funeral, so Night Eye, that's unbelievable. And Eri's getting better, that's awesome. And what really kind of made me happy is you don't see the bandages on the arms. That was really awesome to see. But yeah, this chapter was just great. And the whole thing about Aoyama, like, Horikoshi does this a lot. He'll do it, for example, he'll just switch on you so quickly. At the end of the arc and coming to the end of the chapters, the tone will just drastically change. And we even got some comedy, like, I just found it funny. Honestly, we need to get my boy Tokiyami back in the game. But he was just like, even the #1 student has been stumped. This is truly a question of darkness. It was just so funny. The whole thing about darkness and how he kept saying that. But yeah, this chapter was crazy. So guys, please tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is Aoyama being the traitor, or, you know, is Horikoshi just doing a red herring, or is it's Aoyama attracted to Deku? Who knows? We'll have to see. Please tell me your thoughts and comments below. If you like anything I'd say, please drop a like. That would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next week for that greatness that is chapter 168. Peace out, guys. Goodbye.